Hi, I'm Kristin Collier with Collier Connections, and I'm sitting by the beautiful Mackenzie River, and I'm thinking about the ways in which I initiate in my life and the ways in which I respond to circumstances. Like, when do I decide which to do? And I'm super curious about your experience in this, so I'll be looking for notes from you in the comments about, how you're navigating between those two. Last night when I went to bed, I had rolling over and over in my mind a social situation in which I was feeling a little bit uncertain. I was like, I'm not sure about this. And I was pretty darn sure that my uncertainty had to do with my perspective and not the situation itself. And I thought about a conversation that I'd had earlier in the day with my son Trinidad. And he was talking about survival skills. And he said that he knew people who could say, well, I fashioned this axe out of a stone I found in the woods, and I know how to make, these tools, and I can take care of myself. In a survival situation, he said, but it's one thing to be able to make those things. It's quite another to have actually tested yourself. And he said people who have hitchhiked across the United States probably have more survival skills than somebody who has amassed a certain number of skills in creating structures or tools that they would use in survival settings. And the reason for that, he said, is because when you're in situations where you're actually practicing actual survival, you learn to manage your brain. He said manage your mind. I would say manage your brain, because your mind is the part that manages the brain, that is full of survival mechanisms that can move us into fight or flight or freeze or fawn. And when our brain does that, we aren't accessing all of our resources outside, and we're not accessing all of our resources inside either. We're losing connection with our breath. We're losing connection with our capacity to stay in our power and really clarify exactly what the next best thing is to do in a situation. So I was thinking about that and appreciating the message to find a way to work with my brain, my beloved brain that tries so hard to keep me safe. And so I tried to think a happy thought, couldn't find a way that a happy thought could possibly compete with my worried thoughts. And so I just went for a joyful feeling, and I just focused on my heart and the joy in my heart until I fell asleep. And I'm grateful that that happened pretty quickly. In the morning, I woke up and I struck out to get a permit for the wilderness to go backpacking, and it's a solo backpacking trip, which I've never done before. And I haven't been backpacking since I had a whole body awakening, which I've referred to in other videos. And so it's a big thing, getting this wilderness permit and going backpacking by myself with my dog in a couple of weeks. And so I got the permit and was feeling worried, and then I suddenly had this epiphany. I am a creator. I am a creator. I am not a responder to my environment. I get to decide what I am going to do in my life. And when I stepped into that space where I saw myself as a creator, it became really clear. Like, okay, these are the things I need to do to feel really comfortable and confident when I go backpacking. I'm going to learn how to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to practice it, and then I'll be fine. And it's not even going to be scary, actually. And I felt the same way about the social situation when I reflected on it. It was like, I'm a creator. I know exactly what to do, actually. And it wasn't because I was forcing anything. That was the interesting thing. Like, I'm a creator, and I have this palette of circumstances, these glorious circumstances that are around me, that are really part of yesterday's creation, right? And each one of them helps me to unfold and realize more and more of who I am. How exciting is that? Wow. So shifting into that mode of creator, I remembered later, like, of course, that's what I was missing. Of course, that's what makes sense to do. Because I was thinking of this situation in my life 10 years ago when I was terrified because my family had decided that they all wanted to go on this roller coaster, and I'd been afraid of roller coasters, and I'd never been on a big coaster before. And the first time I did it, of course I was scared, but worse than being scared, I felt like I was going to throw up when I got off of it, like a lot. And of course everybody was, oh, I want to get back on, let's go. And I thought, okay, so I'm in line, and how am I going to do this? And I suddenly realized what I would do. I don't even know how I got this idea, but I decided I am going to pretend I'm driving the coaster, like Princess Leia style. I'm like holding on to my bar, and I'm driving the coaster. Okay, here we're coming up to the next bit. Circling into it, I was like, let's go, oh, we're going for a dive now. Oh. And I totally convinced myself that I was driving the coaster, which honestly lacked the fun, scary aspect. And what I gained out of it was not feeling sick to my stomach and not feeling scared enough to not go again. I was ready to go like 20 more times. I actually had a lot of fun with it. Had I actually been driving the coaster, did I go and convince the people at the controls that I need to be the one doing this because I had this much experience? No, it was a total head game, which is exactly what Trin my son has pointed to too. It's in your head, and we have this opportunity to step into a place where we're in our own power, even if it's just tricking ourselves, like I did on the coaster. And maybe I'm just tricking myself right now to go backpacking, but I'll tell you what, when I do that, I move out of the lower part of the brain, which is in that fight, flight, freeze or fawn place, and I can actually move up into the space where I feel excited and creative. And I'm accessing emotions of joy and wonder and excitement, and my whole life unfolds differently. So coming back to that perspective again and again, because of course I can't stay in that perspective. I can't force it, and I can't force anything to happen around me. I mean, that's the beauty of it. It's like, okay, I'm like in the coaster, like whatever comes, I'm pretending, yeah, of course, I was prepared for this, because what I'm prepared for, what I'm excited about is I have a connection with source inside of me. I have a connection with the highest part of myself. And I know that even if I wasn't like spiritual at all, I know that I'm accessing the best part of myself when I step into a place of empowerment rather than worry. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about stepping into that over and over. And I'm curious about what I'm going to do to remember that more and more often. And I'm wondering what you do to remember that. When things start going sideways, how do you remember to step into your power, to be the creator? And in what ways in your life have you shifted from being the responder, the one who says, oh, I've got these, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about this? To, what do I want? And how do I want to go with this? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Like, share, and come and visit me at collierconnections.com and join our Joy Collective if you'd like. If you like this stuff, gosh, come and hang out with a bunch of us who are talking about joy every week and sharing our practice and inspiring each other and gaining skills together. Have a wonderful day. Look forward to seeing you soon.